everyone, and welcome back, and welcome if you're new here. I'm Austen. I'm a fashion and beauty blogger based here in New York City, and today I am so excited for this video because I really wanted to do one all about how to drive traffic to your blog using Pinterest. I am probably one of the most old school Pinterest users. I had an account in 2009. I've had one ever since, and now that I've had it for almost 10 years, which is nuts, I've acquired a decent following on there, and I figured out how to use the app to drive traffic to my website. And if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you want to do the same thing. So today I'm going to be sharing some of my best tips and practices that I've used over the years to drive so much traffic to my blog and to really expand my business. So I use Pinterest to drive traffic to my website, Keep Calm and Chiffon, which is my fashion, beauty, and lifestyle blog. And of all of that traffic that comes into my site, about 65% of it comes from social traffic. So that could mean any one of the apps like Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, etc. But if you go in and look at the breakdown, Pinterest actually in the last year accounts for 80% of that 65%. So pretty much all of my social traffic that is driving to my blog is coming from Pinterest. So a lot of what I've tried and tested over the years has worked out really well for me, and I wanted to share this with you all so you can also explode your blog traffic, get so many more readers, and be more searchable than you ever were before. So I have been on Pinterest for 9 years now, and in that time I have garnered a following of 16,000, and now that I have a Pinterest for Business account, which I will get into a little later in this video, I can see my monthly views on my account, and as of the filming of this video, I am at 294,000 views. That's more than 250,000 views on my boards and my pins every month, which is absolutely amazing. Like, the reach of Pinterest and the possibility there is incredible, and in this video we're going to get into how you can replicate this for yourself. As I'm sure many of you know, Pinterest isn't actually a social media platform, it is a search engine, and so what this means is that you have to optimize your content for a search engine, like Pinterest, the same way that you would for Google. So Google, Pinterest, and YouTube are probably three of the biggest search engines in the entire world. Just like I'm sure today when you're watching this YouTube video, you searched something like how to grow my blog using Pinterest or how to drive traffic to my website using Pinterest, and you therefore found this video. You can totally apply the same thing to your Pinterest page. One of my biggest tips before you even go to pin an image would be to search for what you are thinking of titling the pin. So if you published a blog post, I'll use a recent post of mine as an example. I recently published a post called 4 Easy Breakfast Ideas for People Who Hate to Cook, because that really applies to me and my vibe. So even though I never actually used the word recipe in my blog post, I did list out all of the ingredients and everything that I did in order to make these dishes, and when I went to go search easy breakfast on Pinterest, recipes was the next word that it filled in. So that's something to keep in mind, even if the blog post isn't the exact title of it, as long as it is related and as long as the person who is clicking on it is going to get the information that they need, you can totally label the pin something related so that they can then find your content that they wouldn't have found otherwise if you didn't include the word recipe. Also, search your pins in Google to see what the top Google search results are, because if someone is searching it in Google, there's a high likelihood that they might also be searching for it in Pinterest. So searching a pin before you actually pin it is crucial because you want to make sure that you are putting out information that someone will be able to find easily. And another great way to make sure that people are able to locate your information is by using keywords. With that in mind, make things as easy to find as possible, and that even includes the names of your boards. When I first started Pinterest in 2009, my clothing board was called Sartorial Satisfaction, which is adorable, but if someone is actually looking for outfit ideas and for style inspiration, they're probably not going to find my board or any of my pins on it if that's what I'm calling it. So my board is now called The Closet, and the description of it says outfit ideas and inspiration. So those keywords are already giving me a way higher chance of being seen by someone who is searching for those keywords. One of the best Pinterest tips that I picked up from watching Emma Hill's Pinterest video, which was absolutely amazing, I'll link her channel below if you want to go check that out, was to create your own style board. So if you are a fashion blogger like myself, and if you're not, don't worry about this, it doesn't apply to you, but I have created a board called Austen Tosone Style, and I definitely need to be updating it more, but I'm glad I have it out there now, because in the same way that someone would be searching for me in Google, they could possibly be searching for me on Pinterest and come across my entire style board. So even just by having my name in the board, which it may seem narcissistic, but have you guys been on Instagram lately? It gives people a chance to find my style, or if they happen to see a random image of mine floating around and I've tagged light wash jeans, and then they see that and they might think that, oh, maybe if I like this girl's outfit, I'll like the rest of her outfits. There's a greater chance that then they will come on over, check out the rest of my page, and possibly follow my board or my entire profile. Another thing to keep in mind when putting together your boards is to not just pin your own content. Make sure that you are actively repinning other people's content as well, because if someone finds their pin and they love it and then they go and follow your board, my interiors board is a great example of this. My interiors board is by far my most followed board on the entire platform, and I get so much traffic to my blog from interiors posts that I've done. I live in Williamsburg and I have 2 roommates, so the only room in the house that is really mine is my bedroom, so it's not like I can say, oh hey, here's a picture of my living room, because I didn't necessarily pick out all of the furniture in my living room. So as a blogger, that would kind of limit me in a sense, but since Pinterest is all about the repin and all about the shared content, you can totally find beautiful pictures of other interiors and mix them into your own content on your board, because not only does that make your board look way more curated and elevated, but then if someone likes that content and comes over and follows your board, and every once in a while one of your own pins pops in too, then they have a better chance of clicking on that and ending up on your site. And how exactly are they going to end up on your site? You are going to link it in the pin. I can't tell you how many times I see an amazing pin and I want to know this recipe, or where this chair is from, or what beauty products this girl was using, and I go to click on it and it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't. Always make sure that you are linking your pins back to your website if you are choosing to upload them yourself. I know a lot of people choose to upload pins on their own and not pin directly from their websites. I'm one of those people, so if you're doing that, make sure you include the link back to your blog, because that is how people are going to get their eyeballs onto your site. I want to hop back over to what I was saying about my style board before, and how if I upload a photo with light wash jeans and some girl is searching for it and then she finds me, how did she find the light wash jeans? I didn't just upload the image and Pinterest was like, oh yeah, light wash jeans, here you go. I actually have to go in myself and add that wording in at some point. So what I will usually do when I upload an outfit pin, I'll pop one over here as an example, will be to say Austen Tosone in New York City wearing, and then in list form I will say wearing a DL 1961 top, wearing a J. Crew hair accessory, wearing, well, I'm wearing Sophie shorts under this because I only need this part of me to look presentable, right? But I'm going to tag all of those different brands, and then I'm going to get into light wash top, chambray top, cami top. I'm going to list all of that out because people are going to be searching for those things more than they're going to be searching for Austen Tosone style. Yet. Just wait. But it's really important to go in and add all of those keywords to the descriptions of your pin, because then when someone is searching for those terms, they're going to stumble across your photo. One of the biggest game changers for me with Pinterest was the discovery of the app Canva. If you don't know what Canva is, just pause this video real quick, download the Canva app, go to Canva's website. It's absolutely amazing. It's a free app that you can use to kind of design your own pins, and what I mean by that is you can do text overlay. If you have a blog post that doesn't have an image with it, which in 2018, what are you doing? Canva has a whole library of images that you can use in your pins. Some of them you have to pay for, some of them you don't, but there are definitely lots of free images if you want to add in a different background, or if you're looking for like a keyboard and you were doing a post about blogging, something like that. And you can use Canva to create templates for literally any shape. So I use them to create my YouTube thumbnails, I use them to create my Instagram stories when I have a new post that I want to share with my followers, and I use them to create pins a lot of the time as well. I'll pop an example up over here of a pin that I've created on Canva with like a text overlay so that you can kind of get a sense of what I'm talking about, because sometimes there will be a beautiful image, but if there's no context, someone might be a little less likely to click on it. So make sure that the title underneath the pin is visible to people, so that if you choose not to do this text overlay thing, if you prefer a plain image, which I do a lot of the time too, that they still see what the post is about or what the image is referring to. But if you do use a text overlay, it just makes it so much easier for a person to see what the pin is about, and not only will they be more likely to click on it, but they also might be more likely to save it for later because they'll know exactly what it was. So the part of Pinterest that kind of plays more into the social media side rather than the search engine side is the community that is on there. So definitely be sure to follow boards that have similar content to what you are posting, because if you're following those boards and they end up following yours back, you could end up showing up as a suggested board to someone else's board. So if I have a hair and makeup board, which I do, I have a beauty board, and I follow someone else's hair and makeup board, and a user is finding pins on that person's board, at the bottom it might show up like similar boards or suggested boards for you, and mine might end up being one of those, which could only increase the chances that someone would end up checking out my boards in addition to the one that they just found. The other great element of community on Pinterest is group boards. This is so important. Make sure that you join a bunch of group boards and that you're pinning to them regularly. The idea of group boards is to kind of get together with people who create similar content and share it all in one place, because you'll have a much larger shared audience between all of you. My favorite group board for blogging is the Influencer Collective board, because every time I have a new blog post, I can share it on there, and people who are following that board are looking for other girls' blog posts to read. Since Influence Her is also part of her campus that targets college girls and girls right out of college, which is completely my audience because that is who I'm often speaking to, that's a great board for me to be a part of, because if they're searching for blog posts on there, then they're not only going to find a lot of my fellow friends' blog posts, which is great, but they will also find mine, and then from there I will get even more traffic over to my site. One of the big ways that people get traffic over to their site is if a pin goes viral. So for example, I actually had a pin go, I wouldn't call it viral, but it definitely went semi-viral, because to this day it is still the #1 driver of traffic to my website. The post that I wrote was the 16 most Instagrammable foods in New York City, and I'll link it below, and I'll also link the pin down below for you to check out. But that post just for some reason blew up, because a lot of people when they come to New York want to know all of the fun food places to check out, and I had just happened to put together a list. And again, food is not my primary topic of blogging whatsoever, but since it got repinned so many times on Pinterest because people are searching for cute restaurants or Instagrammable food and New York City food, that pops up for them a lot. And that pin has been repinned so many times and has driven so much traffic to my website. And the best part about this passive traffic is that it doesn't require any extra work from my part. I was just on my Squarespace account earlier checking out the analytics from this month, and 40% of this month's blog traffic has come from that one pin. That's almost half of my blog traffic just from one post of one pin that I wrote a year ago. And this is amazing because it means that you just get to sit back and let that one pin do so much work for you. And if you do have a Pinterest business account, promote it by all means. There's nothing wrong with all of your traffic coming from one pin and one place. It just makes it that much easier for you to do anything else. And if the person who clicked on that does pop over to your website, they're probably going to be reading more stuff while they're over there too, especially if you have a clearly like categorized section set up. So for me, that pin would take them to my travel section, and from there they could also check out my New York City neighborhood guides, my New York City weekend guide, my guide to London, my guide to Austin, Texas. They can see all of that other stuff, and they'll probably end up sticking around for a while. And who knows, they could just come and read that one post and then click away and never come back to my site again, or they could continue to read a lot of my other travel posts and become a dedicated reader. Alright guys, and those are some of my best practices and Pinterest strategies for how to grow your Pinterest and explode your blog traffic and get all of those readers right over to your website where you want them to be. So I hope you found this really useful. I had so much fun talking about this with you. If you have any questions about anything I talked about in today's video, please drop me a note in the comments down below. I always do my best to get back to you, and I hope that I can give you an answer that you're looking for. If you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. And if you enjoyed this Pinterest video, if you want me to do more tips for blogging and Instagram and all of that stuff, definitely let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your feedback on what you'd like to be seeing from me. Alright guys, I really hope you found this helpful. That is it from me today. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!